Hey guys, this is Locke. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I just finished the T15 Soulstone dungeon using this team here. Um, First of all, I'm going to show you some issues that I had with this dungeon. So when I was doing it, the dungeon is a lot more different from, the T15 variant, sorry, the T10 variant. And the notable problem I had was that the boss would have all these like mini bombs, and that's fine. I could run out of range to avoid that. But the problem was running back in. He would usually cast his second like AOE skill before I could get to the front. And I tried multiple times. I tried going to the sides. I tried running back and forth. I tried using the Swift formation. But because of the power of my team, most of my units are level 50, and I don't have any potentials level to 20. I don't have the new divinities yet. At this stage, I didn't have enough DPS to do T15 unless I was able to avoid that huge AoE 3 times in a row. Because usually the boss would use that skill 3 times, and at the very end he would use it at the 4th time. But the last one you don't really need to avoid, because even if you avoid it, you die anyway. So if you're not able to finish the dungeon by then, you probably lost the dungeon. So I just didn't have enough firepower to do it unless I avoided it 3 times in a row. And most of the time, I would usually make a mistake in one of the three. Like, it was really, really difficult for me to avoid all three of them in a row, so I had to come up with another idea. So what I instead ended up doing is I tried to utilize my revives and immortals to basically beat that boss. So if you take a look at my team and the setup that I have, so this is, I have a level 52, a level 50, level 40, and 40 to take care of this. You might actually be able to do it a lot easier than I have, especially if you level up your potentials and your divinities first. But I made sure that everybody in my team has one revive and one immortal accessory. As you can see, everyone has that. And then I tried to give, all these three units this accessory to increase their damage, and she gets this accessory to increase her healing. Now, I tried doing it with Karen instead, but I wasn't able to have enough firepower to do it, so I needed to use Lena, because Lena has a passive that lets me increase the attack of all allies by 14%. With Karen, I just missed it, so I feel like this 14% attack passive really came in handy. And I also had to use a pet that gives me the immortal passive, like all allies are immune to damage for 4 seconds. So Rachel is the only one I have. That's a legendary. I mean, if I don't have it, I would have had to use this one, which is way worse. So I didn't really have a choice here. I had to use Rachel to do it. And my suggestion to you actually is to not start with Soulstone. I would have actually started with maybe the Elixir dungeon, tried to get that up, or even the Runestone dungeon to get that up to T15 and farm the like the red, what is it, like the red runestones and red elixirs, because you can level up your potential now from 15, I believe, all the way to 20. I just don't have, because I didn't start yet, I don't have the items for it. I didn't farm it yet, but once I do, that's probably what I would start with. And I would try to level up my divinities, especially the attack divinities at the first page. Like, I would try to get like the crit rate, maybe the crit damage, the attack up. These things would help, immensely, and I would focus on these things first. And after I've done that, at least build it up for a couple of levels, then I would have tried the Soulstone. The reason I went with the Soulstone first is because, my account is probably way overgeared than the average player. So by, purposefully not leveling up the divinities and the potentials, I was giving myself a little bit of a setback, so that hopefully, the difference in that setback versus my higher account power is able to help you guys out a little bit. I do have to say that I have maxed masteries. This is the one I used at the raid level. You can pause it to take a look at, if you want to look at exactly how I set it up. And that's all I have. That's the advice that I have. I'm going to show you a playthrough of me doing it for the first time without the buff, because now that I've done it, I do have a buff that gives me an extra attack, defense, and HP. So without the buff, I'm going to show you how I did it. If you guys have other ideas, especially of how to avoid this thing and run back, because I just felt like even with the Swift formation, I just didn't have enough time. Maybe it's because I'm playing on a phone, and on a keyboard, it's easier to move down and run down when you after he uses that mini AoE. So maybe if you're having trouble and you don't have the accessories that I have, like if you don't have Revive and Immortal, then maybe that's another way you can try to do it. Try to play it on a computer, and hopefully you can run down faster than I could. Or alternatively, you can also, level up your units, like level up your defenses, level up your attack, and maybe you'll be able to survive the first hit from the boss. Or instead of having to avoid it 3 times, maybe you only have to avoid it once or twice because your firepower is higher than what mine is, and you'll be able to take it maybe. But this is my setup, and I'm gonna stop talking now and instead show you the playthrough that I did. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. If you have other questions or think of another way of doing this, please leave it down in the comments below, and I'll be sure to take a look. Take care, guys, and have a good day.